Understand there's a great possibility that you won't walk out.
Inside those walls, survival isn't promised.
We as human beings, brothers and sisters to one another, we have to do better.
You could be a target at any minute.
The coldness of a prison, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it just goes to show how valuable life is, how important freedom is.
Prison isn't just punishment. It's a fight for your life.
The worst case scenario for a family member that has another family member inside, who's already not a part of the family on the outside,
Right.
but then to lose their life while they're inside.
You can be here today and gone tomorrow.
Your last breath is your last breath, man. So you gotta value every breath that you have.
As if it's your last.
Yeah.
For families, the pain doesn't end at the prison walls.
It makes you realize how blessed you are to have come up out of that.
Yes.
And how important your mission is now to try to educate the youth to kind of keep them from being in those situations. Because like you said, it can happen to anybody, man.
But look at the great things, and they're all giving back in some way, somehow. And that's what the sense of community should be about. That's where true change happens.
This is more than a podcast. It's a movement for truth, for healing, for change.
Welcome to Locked Up and Locked Out, the podcast. As you can see, I have no guest today. Unfortunately, for one of my guests that was gonna come, a family member passed away due to violence, and they're attending to their family as they should. It was senseless. Their family member was murdered while in prison. Many times we talk about prison as if it's a given that you're gonna walk out. Unfortunately, those that serve time understand there's a great possibility that you won't walk out. Being falsely accused of crimes, being in there for crimes that you may have did. Each and every day it's a possibility that your life can be snuffed just due to the fact that you woke up with the wrong color, or people in the block that you're in are warring, and you've been hurled into a situation where it's do or die. We as human beings, brothers and sisters to one another, we have to do better. So with that being said, I send my condolences to my guest that was gonna come up here, to them and their family. We understand that that's not everybody that come home, but the majority of people are good people who are tired of, frankly, just being sick and tired of doing the same thing, thinking that you're going to get a different result. And I know for me, it's very much important to have a psychiatrist, people that you can lay your head on and so to speak, and speak about the things that affect you. There's so many day-to-day issues that really hamper growth. So to be able to grow and understand that these are the people that I want fighting for change, because frankly, they've been through some things to understand what true change consists of. how it looks can really provoke change amongst the youth. Because people that never been through anything, although their intentions may be good, we come with a certain set skill that makes for a aha moment, to whereas we know definitively that they got our back, that they going to try to do everything in their power to continue bringing forth change. And for the people that never been on that side of the fence, that's a blessing. And we need each and every one of y'all to come collectively, you know what I'm saying, together and move forward and understand that the world is a better place for us fighting and doing things that we're doing. Police, there's some good police, there's some good wardens, there's some good, this podcast, it helps because it gives people a place to talk about all of the things that being locked out entails. And locked up mentally to never be free is not a possibility. In the next up and coming weeks, hopefully the things that we're implementing and my team behind the scenes are trying to put together, I hope I do the community good. And if I can change any kid out there, male or female, from living a life of destruction, of carnage, listen, man, thank you for listening and understanding that I do this out of sense of need and pain that sometimes shines through in ways that I wouldn't want it to shine through. But let's move forward as a family and respect each other and let's stop killing. This has been an enlightening road to travel. And I hope I keep getting more and more people to pour in and showing your support. And thank everybody that support Locked Up and Locked Out. Please join us next week for a special guest. And I think y'all will be pleased. How you feeling, brother?
Oh, man, running around.
Yeah.
Doing 100 things, man. Doing 100 things, man.
I'm glad for you to stop in today. As I was speaking to the guests on Locked Up and Locked Out, it was a person that just came up today, and unfortunately, their family member met an untragic death while in prison.
Oh, wow.
So, like, there was something that was triggered in me, and I can only imagine, you know what I'm saying, hearing from me how it would be being received from you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the worst. I think that's the worst case scenario for a family member that has another family member inside, who's already not a part of the family on the outside,
right?
But then to lose their life while they're inside, right? Mm-hmm. So that kind of, in so many ways, like a double tragedy in so many ways.
Yes.
I don't, being someone that was able to survive the inside
right.
and come home, you just realize how blessed you are to have to go through those situations and be able to make it and come home.
Because you didn't take it as a given, did you?
Oh, you can't. There's no way in the world you can take it as a given. There's too much restriction. You could be a target at any minute, at any time.
Right.
And it's really not. Where you gonna run?
Right.
You can't. You're done.
Right.
You know, if you're not prepared for it.
Right.
And then sometimes if you are prepared for it,
you still can meet your death.
You could be overcome. By the amount of people that may be involved.
Right.
And the COs only respond to after it's over. That's not like something that they try to prevent in terms of like logistics, but once something kick off, it kicks off.
To your case in point, what the situation that's surrounding my, I don't know, I can't get into it, but there's so many different variables in the sense that you can be labeled a child rapist. You know what I'm saying? And you're the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
But imagine a person that didn't do what was claimed and they end up finding out, but the hell that he had an experience just having that label on his back.
Oh yeah.
And we seen what that looked like, and it's not a pretty thing. Firsthand, man. I can tell you, I know when I first came in, and I was labeled as, this murderer of some people, and, they had friends and their friends, and you automatically target, and you totally innocent, have no idea what to do. Right.
But a lot of people act in ignorance, and something like that could have easily happened.
And with these type of stigmas back in the day when we came in, people were dying frequently, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In prison. Some people was put on fire. It was nasty business, you know what I'm saying? So, it's traumatizing for a family member to lose their a family member in that sense. And then to top it off, that they died alone. Nobody was furnished the opportunity to go see them in the hospital for their last goodbyes and and be at peace. The coldness of a prison, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it just goes to show how valuable life is, how important freedom is.
Yes.
That, even in a free society, something could happen.
Absolutely.
And you could lose your life then. But in a restricted society, it's, you're lucky to be able to make it out of there. And like you said, it's unfortunate that these things continue to happen.
Yes.
Which is why, young brothers and sisters should never even put themselves in a position to allow that to happen, because it can certainly happen to anybody. It don't matter who you are. And then sometimes the more street credibility you have when you go in there, the bigger target you are.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we can contest to that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, due to the fact that people want to challenge that. He's all that. He ain't got all them people now. Just want to make a name for themselves and be the one that said I did something to X, Y, and Z. So this is so short notice, and I was totally caught off guard with it. In the sense that when it came back to me that this tragic death happened, senseless murder. I automatically reached to the people that constantly lose their loved ones here in the streets. Like, nobody wants to lose a loved one in such a tragic manner. You think you have forever, ever is only as long as a blink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be here today and gone tomorrow.
Your last breath is your last breath, man. So
Yeah.
you gotta value every breath that you have.
As if it's your last.
Yeah. Like you said, man, sometimes it's a wake up call, no question
Yeah.
about it. Especially
Yeah.
when you're close to it like this, and like you said, you had your guests coming on, and you prepared mentally to kind of do a show to kind of
Right.
dig into what she's talking about, and she gets a call and saying, hey,
Right.
one of my loved ones was murdered inside a prison.
Right.
It brings you back to, wow, I made it out.
Right.
And
Right.
how fortunate you are to have made it out. And sometimes, for me, when I hear that, living in a free society, it kind of brings you back to how prison actually was. Because
Right.
sometimes you can get out and forget
Right.
everything you went
Right.
through, and
Right.
all the challenges and all the obstacles and everything. But when you hear something like that, in so many ways it brings you back, and it makes you realize how blessed you are to have come up out of that.
Yes.
And how important your mission is now to try to educate the youth to kind of keep them from being in those situations. Because like you said, it can happen to anybody, man.
And I spoke on that earlier. I said, if there's one kid that I can save from carnage, from going down that road, man, it's so worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's more to be, you know what I'm saying, done. But I'm happy with just saving one. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, it's bad, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to have that feeling on you, to be a parent.
Yeah.
And
especially if you have the opportunity. If you have the opportunity to save a life or to influence someone else's life in a positive way, and yet don't take that opportunity, it's almost you're just as responsible for what happened.
Absolutely.
In so many ways, right?
To the person, right.
Man, that's a tough one, man. I obviously can do nothing but, say prayers out to the families.
Absolutely.
But we just don't know, man. I always say to people, man, be careful what you get into, because we don't know. Like, it could have been somebody that did a lot of dirt.
Right.
And it could have been a way for somebody to get the revenge that they were wanting. It could have been that he was innocent and he was just in a bad circumstances.
Right.
It could have been a lot of that stuff. But I would say from an individual standpoint, that's why it's important to always try to keep yourself out of situations where people will want to do something bad to you.
Right.
Period.
Sure.
Right? And even when you do that, there's no guarantee that nothing can happen. But if you live in a life where, especially if you gangbanging, if you're living in that life, sometimes it comes back to get you, man. Sometimes it comes back to get you.
Yeah, on the opposite side of that, if it's this person who's redeemed himself, he's looking forward to do something, he got plans, he got all this stuff that he wants to do.
And then you get snatched.
And then, and then that happens to this person. And then looking, and then when you get the news, you think, shit, all this stuff that I was planning could have just been just like that guy. And where is that? Where does that take you? And what makes you think like, shit, this guy has so many plans, and that person who was to be a different person is no more because he got taken away.
Yeah.
Well, I believe, like the majority of us try to plan to be and step out a better individual than we went in.
Right.
To what degree is all predicated on the work that you put in. And it's easy for some and harder for others.
For others, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the sense that what helped us, I believe, is our names. You know what I'm saying? It carried.
Yeah.
Like your credibility.
Our credibility, our mannerisms, who we were before we stepped in, and how we carried ourselves through and through.
So nobody would really fuck
A to B.
So you didn't live in fear of
Nah, you can't live in fear.
Definitely can't live in fear.
You know, like he said earlier, anything goes. You know what I'm saying? Like you can wake up in the morning and the whole jail is on fire, meaning that everybody's at war. You know what I'm saying? And there's plenty of times, and there's no common ground. Like you're from here.
Yeah.
This is what it is. It don't matter. I'm not involved with none of that. You're involved with it.
Yeah.
Now you have a target on your back, so now you have to act accordingly. And when people are remembered, you know what I'm saying, that you're not to be trifled with, that you're gonna do anything that it takes to sustain your life, people start to get the idea like, okay, you know what I'm saying, he's going all out for his. And we was fortunate to whereas we had groups and groups of people that respected us enough to whereas, nah, leave them dudes alone. They're all right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's not the case for everybody.
No, it's definitely not the case for everybody.
But how does like faulting the prison, how does like, I'm not gonna get into your situation that happened, but like, for an example, like if something broke out in a fight, like where are the wardens, like how does that get to that point where
that's like, okay,
responsibility that somebody got murdered?
So that's like saying, where's the chief of police at when you're walking down the street and you got mugged? You know what I'm saying? They're the higher level of security. So they wouldn't be on the streets necessarily in the same capacity that a beat walker would be on, you know what I'm saying? Because the beat walker is the pawn of making sure the stability in the streets. That.
But if these guys are like, if there's a break, like a fight that like, don't they rush in? Like how do they?
After the fact, by the time they suit up, there's levels.
Yeah.
So with these levels, they're not just rushing in.
Right.
Their teams is exactly. It's protocol on how they enter.
And people in there know that.
Right.
So they know how much time they have.
Right.
Well, no, and by the very nature, law enforcement is never designed to prevent crime.
Right.
It's always designed to respond to crime.
Right.
So they're always in response mode. They're never in preventive mode, right? They try to set up like housing situations to try to predict or prevent people from engaging with each other to lower the chance of it happening. But if it happens, they're not coming in until it's over, right? And that's only over once they spray the tear gas and everybody's all choked out and everybody's laying on the floor in the gunshots, and then they go assess the situation. They're not getting in the middle. Yeah, they're not getting in the middle of what's actually going on. They're not coming until everything is calm. And then they'll come in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, they'll tear gas you. They'll fire the bullets, and then when everybody calms down, and then all the smoke clears, they'll make sure everybody's safe, and then they'll analyze the situation. But they're not getting in the middle of a fight if somebody's shanking each other. I mean, who would? I wouldn't get in the middle of a fight. You know?
Who did it? Like,
well, after everything's done, that's where the investigation.
Did somebody like rat somebody out, or like are there cameras?
There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on after that, but the reality is they're not there to prevent things from happening. Right. They try to set up an environment where things are less likely to happen. But if something does kick off, you know, when the dust settles, they'll figure it out. But they're not getting in the middle of I mean, I'm not getting in the middle of somebody else fighting. You know, has nothing to do with me being in prison or not. Right. I'm just not getting in the middle of somebody else's stuff. No. And then they okay, and you end up getting wounded because you're in the middle of it. Only thing you might be able to try to talk to the people and say, hey, don't do this. This is not good for you. Yada yada yada. But as far as that's concerned, that's it. But yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear that happened to your guests. I mean, prison life is definitely not the life that one should kind of be inspired to kind of go after. You know, gang life should be left alone because they have consequences that last and you know they can get you no matter where you are.
See, and this is the trauma.
Yeah.
That plays out, you know what I'm saying, from prison to the real world, you know what I'm saying? It's real-time consequences to acts that's so unbecoming. When you take a life, you can't rewind that. That's forever gone. And the family members that love that individual will never get to see them again, you know what I'm saying? So we have to look on both sides of the paradigm and to understand that, listen, for those that lost their life, for those that didn't, it's always yin and a yang type thing, to whereas you have the people that benefit by being able to see their loved ones, and then the unsatisfactory understanding that I would never get to see that loved one again, you know what I'm saying, unless I go to his gravesite. So that's kind of riveting.
No, I mean, it's really troubling because I don't know what a human can do about it. I do know that, you know, when I was in that situation, you always ask that you're protected by a higher power.
Yes.
And some are and some aren't. And I think that if you come out of that situation, you have to realize that you were protected in that situation. And now I think it's obligatory to understand that there wasn't nothing about individually characteristics about me or I believe Adam, but more so, you know, we started tapping into something higher than ourselves.
Yes.
And asked for that protection as well. And some guys probably won't. Some guys are too hard. And I think that, I know for me, it was certainly definitely a higher power at play that kind of protected me in that situation. Because I was like, because it was just like, you walk into a situation and like you said, you're not around a bunch of guys that you usually hang all day. You taken out of that environment that you're used to, you're putting into a foreign environment, and then you're going into an environment where people may have perceptions of who you are or what you do. So you become vulnerable in so many ways. But like you said, the character that you put forward, and then what people know about you, people have a tendency to leave those that they know are good people alone. You don't mess with them. It doesn't mean you might not get into tic-tac and all this other stuff, but it just means that, you know, when you're in survival mode, you're not getting caught up too much in what's going on there. The less you get involved in what's going on in prison, the better you are. The more you get involved in what's going on, you can be dealt with no matter who you are.
Spending your time proving that you're innocent. So like, you don't have time for that. Right? Like you're in a whole other.
Mentally, I think you are.
Right, you locked in,
you
but
there.
right.
Yeah, you might be
part of whatever's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, however, you know, you might be more isolated in the sense of the fact that you're more in the books. You know what I'm saying? Versus the day-to-day politics of the jail. And for that reason, that can be the very thing that saves your life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But many times, you don't know how it's coming or why sometimes. You can just be, you know what I'm saying, a person that too many people like. And you can get it for that. Like, there's no one reason to say, why they do that to him. He must have been involved with something. That's not necessarily the truth.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying, of the matter.
So you have eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah, absolutely. You better.
Do now too, right?
Yeah,
a whole different,
absolutely.
a whole different.
But you're just wired like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's so many years behind there. It's like we spent more time in jail than we did in a free society. You know what I'm saying? So with that understanding, it's like we're not only, you know what I'm saying, the ones that God showed mercy on. We were, you know what I'm saying, very fortunate, you know what I'm saying, to be in the situations that we now find ourselves in.
Yeah. And that's why you give it back.
Right. That, and you gotta give back, because you know that dead person could be me.
Right.
They wanted me dead. They wanted this man dead.
Yeah.
But look at the great things and the people that he helps. And numerous other people that I've had on the show the pleasure of meeting or known personally, they're all giving back in some way, somehow. And that's what the sense of community should be about. That's where true change happens. That's how we become stronger, you know what I'm saying? And
So people need to lose the stigma of like, I did time, I was in prison.
yeah, but let's drop that stigma,
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Because
like forgiveness,
right,
it's like people need to be more
open.
like, oh, you were in prison,
I think you hit it right on the head. I think that you need to be able to forgive those that wronged you.
Yeah.
And ask for forgiveness for those that you wronged, and live accordingly to that, and try not to wrong anybody, period. As opposed to being in like revenge mode.
Right.
Like somebody did something wrong to me, I need to get them back. Whether it's violent, whether it's just mental, whatever the case may be. And from a scriptural standpoint, forgiveness is literally the most powerful thing that you can possess as a human being.
It really is.
And we all know that we are imperfect, and we all know that we do things wrong. So being willing to forgive others that have done us wrong is also essential to allowing people to forgive us for things that we did wrong. And some people just don't. Some people just want to carry that revenge mode. Like, I need to get him back because he made me look like this, or if I don't, everybody gonna think I'm a sucker or I'm square or this like that. And I think the true testament of, manhood, womanhood, even, from a human standpoint, is the power to be able to say, I forgive you. Yeah. Because without that, you can't move on. You can't move on.
Like he was saying, like I think he wants to talk to the family. He's like, I took some.
You can't move on.
I worked through it with religion, with my brothers, but I think he would like to talk to the family, and the family's not like, that's a big powerful thing.
That's a hard thing.
Yeah.
But that has to happen in their own time.
In their
you know
time,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
right.
can't.
Crew's okay. Seems like he seems
He's I mean,
about it, which is
you have to, because that's another form of healing.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is like going to NA and AA. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
if you know you have an addiction, you have to address that addiction head on.
Yeah.
So, like, I know the fact that I didn't have the ability to talk to these people about their son or something like that, it hampers your group. You know what I'm saying? It's a possibility that it can hamper the next step, the next stage to be met. You know what I'm saying? Because you've yet to clear the closet out with that, you know what I'm saying, situation over there. And I could be wrong, you know what I'm saying?
No, you're absolutely right. And the other dynamic behind that is the like lawyers or the system is not designed for you to reach out to the victims and say you're sorry. They don't want that. They don't want that because I don't even know why. It doesn't make any sense. But I would think that if you did somebody wrong, you would want to say you're sorry.
Right.
just from a human standpoint. Right. No matter how difficult it is.
You might not want to accept that, and that's all right.
But I don't know, but from a human standpoint, I don't know anybody that won't accept an apology from somebody that did a family member of theirs wrong. That don't mean they're not gonna be upset.
Right.
They're still gonna be angry. But I also believe that if you had the ability to apologize for somebody you did wrong or their family members, again, it's not about whether they accept it. It's more about whether you're willing to say, I'm sorry.
Right.
And then give them time.
Yeah.
And they'll come around and appreciate that. Just like when we were exonerated, right? The state officials, I'm sorry for this happening to you. Shit, I ain't accept. I don't want to hear that shit. But nevertheless, the fact that they said it, it still made me feel the way. So over time, I appreciated them saying it.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's really important.
No, because people become stuck in their ways, not truly understanding what it is to be falsely accused. You know what I'm saying? Like, a person that carries that, that's truly having the weight of the world on your shoulders, because you have to deal with the family dynamics of your family, the loss of that family, you know what I'm saying? Because you're now gone, you know what I'm saying? Out of their reach, you know what I'm saying? So life takes over. They're in go mode every day. It's a grind. And then you become the person who fades in the back. And it's not
and then they don't get
you know what I'm saying? And then you've been victimized from start to finish. To whereas how do I tell the people I love I need them without being selfish? How do I tell my people that them letters that they sent was empowering without being selfish? How do I look in the mirror and say I'm a man and I don't have a clue how to get up out of here? You know what I'm saying? I understand what they're saying about read the cases that got you, you know what I'm saying? And there you will find how you got here, you know what I'm saying? When you're talking about a Hercules task, that would be it. They always say it's like combing through a brush trying to find a needle in a haystack. You know what I'm saying? It's like damn near impossible. But to find it, and you're like, wow. This day, like you learned how to fight so long and so strong that now it doesn't feel right not to be able to fight for something.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because you've been fighting.
Became a part of who you are.
Right. It's your identity, a part of your identity.
Like for me, the search became my needle in the haystack.
Right.
The process of searching led to the levels of discovery. And I don't think there's ever an end to that, because as we grow, we're going to discover more and more and more and more and more about ourselves, no matter how old we get, no matter how experienced we get in life. There's always an edification of improvement, no matter how much we reach, because there's only one perfect being, and that, if you say the Almighty. So as long as we're living in an imperfect state, the search for perfection is always going to reveal newer things about us in terms of who we are. And every level, we're going to be tested in terms of what that discovery or what that search have taught us. So you're not like fully insulated. You're never going to be fully insulated. You're always going to be, in the world that we live in, exposed to negative things that can possibly happen to you. But I think when you're discovering truth or what life is really about, that kind of protects you from that. It doesn't mean that you won't ever encounter it. It just simply means that there's a level of protection, because in your wisdom during that search, you also learn how to apply different things to different situations.
You're on a higher level
Yeah.
being, which is
So
real.
listen, I love this, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's all about, being consistent. And giving the listening audience a true understanding and the gravity of, you know what I'm saying, what we're talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Something to ponder on.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
you know what I mean? Listen, to my guests who couldn't make it, family, I send, my family, from Locked Up to Locked Out, family, send you our love and our prayers, are with you. And this has been another episode of Locked Up and Locked Out, the podcast. Stay with me next week.